Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live on the Web3 Network. Another day in the industry. We survived October. It was all October. Let's see if we can continue these vibes in a new month. Excited to be sitting here with y'all, our vibe, our tribe. Huda's here again. Love to see it. It was his first episode yesterday, so we're going to have a fantastic time. Huda, you did a great job. Are you ready to follow up? Do a repeat?
Man, every day. It's just what we do.
I'd love to hear it, dude. Giff, coming off a great GM Web3 morning show there with Roger Dickerman, one of our better episodes, I should say. How you feeling, brother?
It was amazing. I'm actually recapping it right now so we can pull that up here in just a couple minutes. We did try a new segment with none other than Roger Dickerman of 24 Hours of Art, which was phenomenal. He killed it. You know, he did not half-ass it. He really put some thought and intention into curating who he thinks are the top 5 artists to watch this week and why, right? The context matters. And yeah, again, it was phenomenal. Can't wait to do it again and run it back with him. But I am working on getting those posted right now so we can actually pull those up here in just a moment.
All right, love to see it. Choina, Cam Taylor, Easy and Crypto, Chaz Gold getting in here early with the GMs. We appreciate you guys showing up early and often. We're going to try to have ourselves as good an episode as the GM Web3 Morning Show here. We got a lot to cover, a lot of breaking news. Gift, the one thing I'm going to pull up on the breaking news piece, thank you for saying, oh, I saw it was SafeMoon and not MoonPay, because I was literally thinking the same thing. I thought that they were targeting MoonPay there, but yeah, SafeMoon probably deserves whatever is coming to them here in just a moment. We'll touch on that. Guys, we are here every day, 1 p.m. Eastern. I appreciate you guys leaving a like if you can on the episode, whether you're on X, on YouTube, on Twitch, before we get started here. Gift, you want to hit them with the old handy dandy?
The handy dandy disclaimer. Yeah, of course. But also, I would be remiss not to shout out this man down here, Huda, who is back with us, which is just, it's great to see it. You'll love to see that. So welcome back, Huda. Happy to have you here with us today. Yeah, because you were great yesterday. We love what you're doing, man. So awesome to have you working in with us on this network. And all of that in a quest to try and provide as much possible value to you out there hanging out with us. And also just know that none of this is financial advice. It's just not. I know, like, again, it can be confusing sometimes. You hear us talk about number go up and number go down and cool project this, Ethereum that. But regardless of whatever we talk about, just know it's all public domain. It's all just stuff we found on the internet and our personal opinions of all the contributors here on the network. So do your own research always. Be safe out there. And with that, let's get on with the show.
Awesome. I love how nobody was going to call me out for the pumpkins in the background. That's how much I love Halloween, but I just switched it. It's a sad day. I took down all of my Halloween decorations. All right. I'll get into the quick news in just a second. We just want to give Huda one last shout out and his flowers and the links. If you didn't see him on yesterday, apparently, is this God of War? Is this what you're going for?
No, I think we were going for just creepy clown, and a lot of it wore off throughout the day. So yeah, no real theme there. I had to get in a recording with it because I said I would.
I did think it was God of War, but it could also pass for the creepy clown from Devil's Rejects.
Yes,
if you've seen that
true.
movie.
I
Rob Zombie.
Like yeah, exactly. Yeah, I look like a sickly, though, Kronos or whatever his name is. Yeah.
By the way, that movie, Devil's Rejects, I'm not a big horror guy, but that might be my favorite horror film. It's a wild one if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, okay. I was going to ask if it's a prequel or a sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses, but
I think it is. I think it's related.
All right. Sequel. Okay. Yeah. Real quick, Huda is doing a lot of great things here with the NFT updates. I'm just showing off. You can see threads covering the industry. It's always great to have somebody on the on top of things, basically. And you have some work there at Crypto Slam that plays into this as well. Huda, if from this list or from maybe this morning, what pops off to you as the big breaking news here that we need to touch on today, man?
It's something everyone's talking about. I'm positive we will be. I think it's very simply Elon Musk and Joe Rogan talking about NFTs. Throw in Mark Cuban there too, because he also had an NFT mention yesterday. That's the story. It is.
Yeah, 100%. So let's get into it. I'll pull up some clips there. It's always interesting to me with the Joe Rogan podcast because they're very off the cuff, right? They're not doing like pre-production with Elon Musk and Joe and saying, hey, we need to talk about people up front. It's very much a throwaway comment that turns into a huge story just by the fact that who they are. And so it's funny to me that they just had an off the cuff comment. But if you guys are living under a rock, basically what Huda was mentioning was that in the beginning of Joe Rogan's latest podcast with Elon Musk, which launched yesterday, they started off the podcast talking about people and his work, and he's being one of the more influential artists in the NFT space. And then that led to Elon talking about on-chain versus off-chain NFTs, AWS, IPFS, all of this kind of technical jargon that really isn't brought up that much, but to a lot of purists makes them get it into a hubbub, and it honestly brings that discussion into the forefront. So I'm going to pull up some clips. Gifted, what was your thoughts here on the Joe Rogan Elon situation?
I just think it's amazing. I just think it's great. Joe Rogan has, from my understanding of the bits and pieces that I've caught where he's talked with, his producer, who's apparently into NFTs. I forget his name. I haven't been watching as much Joe Rogan lately. But yeah, my impression of what I've seen on Joe Rogan is that he has been pretty negative in terms of his stance towards both crypto and NFTs. More recently, he's started to show more interest in Bitcoin. There's been some interesting conversations around Bitcoin happening on the show with some recent guests. But yeah, he's kind of been in that camp of like right-click saving. It seems all stupid, like scams and bullshit. And so just kind of really mid-curving it over there, unfortunately. So to have somebody who he clearly respects, who most people respect as, an intellectual fellow, a smart guy, Elon Musk, coming on and not just starting off the conversation talking about one of the biggest Web3 artists, but then getting into some of the nuance and details around like why NFTs are interesting, NFT art, how it works, just naturally flowing into these conversations, I just think is tremendously cool. Because yeah, it shows that all this shit matters, man. It's the same thing. Like, why are there people literally in Congress going back and forth about Pokemon cards, digital Pokemon? You know what I mean? Because this shit actually matters. There is something here. And if it was all fraud and bullshit and there wasn't a bigger thing here, Larry Fink wouldn't be out there on MSNBC or whatever saying crypto is a flight to quality. And you wouldn't have literally Congress people having conversations about digital trading cards. So,
all right.
It's just a reminder.
I'm going to pull up a quick clip. Hopefully we don't get banned by YouTube. And then I want Huda to hop in here.
Well, 80% of the people they put on ventilators died.
That might not be the right one.
In fact, I actually posted about that because...
Yeah, all right. So I could totally pick the wrong clip there. I apologize. Let's see if we can get into the beginning of this.
Full, like, delivering them to people. Has anybody gotten them yet? A year and a half ago or so?
Was it?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, a year ago, I guess.
Yeah, at least a year.
At least a year.
And it's different.
All right, I'm gonna Huda save
I have
here. I'm on like hour 56 of a fast, and I'm just like
I have one.
It, but
I have this one here.
All right, go ahead.
But I mean, NFTs. The funny thing is that the NFT is not even on the blockchain. It's just a URL to the JPEG. So it's not even like it's like you should at least encode the JPEG in the blockchain, because like if the company housing the image goes out of business, you don't have the image anymore.
All right.
There you go.
All right. Thank you for saving me there from drowning. Huda, your take here on Elon Musk saying basically that these NFTs are not on the blockchain, that they're, that the fundamentals aren't there.
I mean, they're completely right, but I think they haven't had their aha moment with NFTs yet. You can tell he just maybe hasn't spent enough time with it to realize the image being on chain, I think really doesn't matter. Most people don't actually care about the image at all, right? An NFT with no image, you still get all the utility. Bored Apes, if there was no image on those NFTs, we're still getting hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of airdrops in their wallet. So the image didn't matter one bit. I think the Blur marketplace shows us the value of NFTs being traded has nothing to do with the image. They make the image that tiny, right on the marketplace. The flooring protocol, same thing. They don't care about the image. They fractionalize the thing and let you trade that. So yeah, ultimately, I think that image doesn't matter that much. There's just some interesting examples out there, kind of from all over the NFT space, kind of showing both sides though. Think about maybe tokenized RWAs, right? Real world assets, tons of value in those potentially, there's no image really on those things. It's a physical item that's in a vault somewhere, right? But the NFT, the data, the token itself is what's holding the value at that moment. So interesting example there. Art, people maybe want to make a different case. You know what, if you have very expensive art and it loses the image, could the artist just email you a digital copy, like literally in your email? As long as you have the token, is it still going to hold its value? V1 Punks kind of show us like it's not a perfect example, but a version of this where, yeah, the original token has value because the community says it has value. Now the creator, the artist, they're telling you that's not the one that has value. They're saying this new one does. And all of a sudden we see the value there. So ultimately it's for the artist and creator to decide if the image matters. It's also part to do for the market to decide. But what I do know, while we're still trying to figure this out, is that Elon Musk's take is pretty wrong.
All right. I mean, yeah, there's still provenance, there's still utility, there's still other reasons besides just the art itself being on chain. Obviously, that does matter to a lot of people and could potentially impact the longevity or value of certain collections over time. But I do agree that there's much more nuance to it than that. And it's just cool at all to see them getting into the weeds on a more nuanced understanding of why blockchain art is even a thing. So
here, do not string me up by my thumbs. Do not take me out and crucify me or anything like this.
No promises,
this
bro.
stuff does not matter that much to the majority of people. Like when we talk about NFTs being on chain, it's actually a really dope feature. I love the way Roger Dickerman was talking about this. It's not either or. It doesn't have to be, but it's actually a really cool feature if you can build it into the providence, even if it's not really built in as the narrative that people are trying to sell, like we saw with Megapont that we'll talk about in just a second, where they're minting on Ethereum and actually having the traits on Bitcoin, and you can burn it to. So even folks that are building these things, if it's not a part of their narrative, they can still have it on chain, and that's really cool. You know, that's a cool addition. These people that are just like, it needs to be on chain, it reminds me of like the argument of the doomers that talking about Bitcoin. Like, what happens if the electric grid goes down or the power grid goes down? What are you going to do then? You're not going to be able to trade all this stuff. It's like we will have bigger things to worry about if this stuff happens. So
this is
AWS, and a majority of the NFTs being on AWS, unless they come through with regulation that says AWS, you can't have these and you can't support these, then it doesn't really matter for the majority of folks.
Okay, I really like this parallel between like on-chain maxis and doomsday preppers, because I think that's a real thing. Because the people that are like, oh, it has to, like, the art has to be 100% on chain, otherwise it's completely valueless or I can't collect it. There is a similar sort of mindset between like, I need to spend my life focusing on the extreme case because shit might go crazy. You know, all of a sudden you might lose all the servers, all the internet, all the energy goes down. And then what do? Your JPEGs might not be there anymore, right? And it's like, you might have a case, but you might also be spending a lot of time and energy focusing on an outlying situation that is never realistically going to occur because the inertia and the momentum of society is focused on all the opposite things. So I actually like that parallel a lot, but there is still something there in terms of like, why do people value Bitcoin over others? Because it can stand up to more challenges, more obstacles in a lot of other ways.
If that argument is true, if the Bitcoiners really believe that, I want to see them start pumping the inscriptions. Like, it needs to happen. I think I want to see them be a little consistent. And by the way, I see people, the on-chain gang talking about those NFTs, cyber brokers, Avastars, Avagachi, love all of those. Those are actually some of my favorite projects. And I do value on-chain NFTs quite a bit. So I see you guys there.
All right, I'm going to actually bring in the clip that I wanted to, which was them talking also about Beeple. So Beeple's writing his story, in my opinion, even more so into NFT lore now. Like, two of the bigger things that have happened for this space, I don't think Joe Rogan has talked about NFTs at length before where it's blown up. I know he's talked about Bitcoin at multiple times. He had Andreas Antonopoulos on all those years ago. So yeah, Beeple now writing his story even more so.
Okay, there's me. Take my dog for a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like looking in the mirror.
Have you seen that?
They're looking at a Beeple photo, by the way.
Did people get you one of those?
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's awesome. He's pretty edgy.
Yeah, it's amazing that he puts out a piece of art per day, 365 days a year.
Yeah, I was following him on the X platform.
So that's a very small clip. Hopefully YouTube doesn't see that and completely ban us. But there you go. You have them talking right out the gate. It's not like buried in the episode 45 minutes in. It's right out the gate and everybody's hearing it.
I feel a little bit of retribution here because I think when I've kind of stood up for Beeple being one of the most important figures in the whole NFT movement, a lot of people have kind of been like, oh, no, he's not really that great, or like give excuses for why he doesn't deserve as much credit. But the fact is he is one of the godfathers of the entire NFT art movement because of all the work he did as a digital artist. So the entire digital art movement, he is now like a godfather of. But within that, he definitely is one of the most important figureheads of the whole space to the outside world. You know, they only see so many things right now, so many artists. You know, Rafiq Anadol is starting to cross over. You've got artists like Yatreda that are probably going to start to cross over. You've got, you know, maybe a few others, but there's not that, you know, then you've got a few big projects like Bored Apes, the CryptoPunks, but there's not that many things that really transcend the space. And when you see this, you understand what that means.
Yeah, Huda, would love your take here. This is also the photo, I believe. A good call out there. Squashman saying, wasn't it the Giga Chad? So yeah, this I believe was the photo for that they were looking at the beginning of the episode, or the art piece. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, can't argue with any of that. Beeple he's the guy. He is the face of NFTs, especially art. But how many artists out there in the real world is he inspiring to not only create but also come and check out NFTs and understand why there's so many believers in the tech which, you know, solved a real issue, and that was for digital artists. So Beeple is just still the prime example, the best use case of NFTs, and right now it still is art.
Love those takes, guys. I also want to add in Mark Cuban. Huda was mentioning that was also one that was talked about here over the last 24 hours. I really have to hold myself accountable here, and I need to make sure I don't get myself too caught up in this bull mania. Like here, we're here, guys. Like
the euphemism's back,
look,
baby.
This is gonna be now my third cycle. So like and don't get me wrong, I want it. Everybody should want us to like move out of this bear cycle here. But anyways, the idea that Mark Cuban, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, everyone is talking about NFTs in a pseudo positive light. Not saying they're a complete scam. Elon kind of like skirted the line a little bit, but you can see he's interested. Anyways, I got to make sure I hold myself back here. It feels like there's a lot of energy happening with the Web3 space in a positive light here. So I'll pull up this Mark Cuban piece. Huda, I know you were the one that mentioned it initially. What was your take from what Cuban was able to get out?
I have a really weird take that doesn't really apply to our conversation. I'm mad he didn't use our charts. Like, he's one of our biggest investors in Crypto Slam and Forecast Labs. He didn't use our chart. Come on, Mark. Come on. But he's right. I mean, everything he said is correct. The market's down, even though he was showing, I think, not even the correct chart to show that. You know, but selling is at kind of an all-time low. That is when you want to get into these things if you're playing the speculative side of things. I just like hearing NFTs come out of his mouth, and really that he's still a believer in NFTs. That's maybe the most important thing, is that he's every bit as committed to this, and he every bit sees the future that we still do.
All right, let's hear some of this. Let's hear what Mark Cuban has to say.
Or X. Everybody losing money in NFTs. Why are you still here? LOL. I got a handy dandy graph. This is the NFT market, and this is the volume of sales. Basically, it sucks. You know how many other industries have sucked? There was a time after the internet stock market crashed where Amazon was selling for $5 a share. Microsoft was selling for that. This is the best time if you're an NFT collector to buy an NFT. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, other than to say with NFTs, the best time to buy is when you're a collector and you love the NFT. Don't buy to speculate. I'm going to
some non-financial advice, financial advice from Cubes.
Say it to you for the people in the back. Don't speculate.
Dude, what does he write here? Because it's not speculate. What is
You know what happens to speculators? They get their ass handed to them.
NFTs.
I can stare at my mutant punk all day long because I collected it. I'm not paying attention to all the things that happen on a day-to-day basis, and you shouldn't either. Because someday we're going to turn around, and you know what you're going to say to yourself? You're going to say to yourself,
God, here we go again.
I should have bought those damn NFTs when they were next to nothing.
Okay, first of all,
Dude.
like, let's take a step back. What is this?
That was a lot of financial advice.
Is he sitting in a fake classroom teaching a course on NFTs to noobs and normies right now? And if so, what? Like, I don't know. I see him trying to refresh and dust off his image right now because, look, the nuance with CUBAN is that, yes, he was early in crypto for a lot of people, very bullish on it, invested heavily into NFTs early on. So clearly the man believes in the technology, and you have to give him credit, at least where it's due, for being early, jumping into the technology. I think the criticism there is that he isn't as smart as he thinks he is, and created maybe more problems and damage and kind of contributed to a lot of the bad narratives and bad situations in the space more than the good. So look, if he's trying to take a step back, focus on the fundamentals, take maybe a more nuanced approach to like educating and onboarding instead of just, scamming a bunch of people through Instagram into shitty projects or into, what was it, Titan, whatever his other crypto investments were, where he was basically telling everybody that this was 100% safe and like fail proof. Like, again, he didn't know what he was doing. I think he created and wrought a lot of havoc. And so there's a lot of reasons to not feel great about him. But if he's taking a step back and earnestly trying to focus on the long-term values of the space and educate, then I'm all for that, CUBAN.
Yeah.
I'm for that.
Comment section's blowing up. Mike Allenson is asking, you guys think if Sol keeps pumping, Sol NFTs will do well? I'm interested to hear Huda's take here because of his work at Crypto Slam and then being multi-chain. But we'll get to that in just a moment. Just laying a little bit of foundation here for Mark Cuban's history. Iron Finance, he was early in DeFi a little. I wouldn't call it early, but he was there in the DeFi summer craze of 2020. He was also early ish on NFTs here. And that whole Instagram story, GIF, when you first brought it up, I was like, let him off the hook. And then you dive into it, you're like, oh, wow, that's actually a really negative impact to the NFT
was
space.
So bad that they kicked off like the biggest NFT channel on the entire platform. Like, you have to understand how bad it was for them to take the extreme step of removing Mark Cuban's Instagram handle from the platform.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I don't want to get like caught up on talking about it too much, but it's important to know that in both scenarios, he was ish early and he was a early adopter, should we say, in a lot of this stuff, but he really he wasn't effective in his time there. So you just keep that in mind. Huda, thoughts on Mark Cuban here and all this?
Yeah, so I think Mark Cuban's been very consistent with how he's talked about NFTs, and in a way, I feel like personally, like my NFT journey's almost come full circle. I got into NFTs because of Mark Cuban. I heard him on the news. Talking about NBA Top Shot, and it was one of the first times I heard of NFTs. This is 3 years ago, and he kind of was trying to like play it down and saying, don't. He's like, they're highly speculative. Just don't even bother. And when he did that, I'm like, hang on a second. What is he trying to keep me from here? Like, I knew there was something much bigger that I had to look into and understand. And I'm glad I did, because there was something very important happening. But point there is, he's always said that. He's always cautioned people to be very careful with them. So my take on Cuban, I think he's just playing it safe because he has to. He doesn't want to be liable for, anything us degens do.
There's an interesting point there too. The SEC has been making its rounds going after high profile targets. And as far as I know, he has not yet been under that microscope, but it wouldn't be surprising to see the SEC come out with some kind of something. Cause he was early getting his hands dirty in a couple different pies. And so I don't know. I'm just saying, I haven't thought much about it, but it would be surprising to me if there wasn't some risk there for him. And maybe that's why he's again, positioning himself as like, oh, it's highly speculative, like not financial advice. Like, it's cool. But like, again, maybe all this is trying to clean himself off, not just to the community, but maybe even, other agencies and shit as well.
I wouldn't be shocked if behind the scenes he probably is under investigation, because I know that there are a lot of active investigations. I think everybody should assume that, but there definitely are. And so I think he's being very careful.
Yeah. Look, And I'll add some bit of context to this combo too. With the DeFi summer piece, he went to the SEC, he went to Capitol Hill, at least, and was talking to, I had a congressional hearing about DeFi, saying that we need more regulation. So in a way, I'm looking at this in that Tom Bilyeu sense, Gifted, where we're like, you're here for the industry and you have these Web3 ideals, but do you, are you kind of part of the Web 2 kind of mafia that wants to move in here and do it and apply your values to this industry instead of the other way around, and maybe adopting it from a more organic sense? So, all right, we'll get into some other pieces. I do want to touch on really quickly, because I think it does tie in. The SEC is going after somebody. At least the U.S. Attorney's Office and the SEC both are part of the SafeMoon story that just broke. But you can see U.S. Attorney's Office charges founders and executives of SafeMoon in a multi-million-dollar international fraud scheme. SafeMoon, I believe, was a DeFi player as well, not MoonPay, folks.
You and I literally had the initial reaction when I like double checked. I was like, wait, this is not the Bored Ape, the company that was kind of part of helping to promote Bored Apes with all the celebrities and shit. We know that the celebrities have already been under scrutiny and getting sued for a lot of that, but I was concerned that there might be more to the SEC inquiries into Yuga. But no, this is not that. This is SafeMoon, which, yes, I believe maybe it was some kind of DeFi. It had its own coin, but I do remember that there was a lot of influencers. This was during the time when all the fucking influencers were shilling shit, just trying to get their followers to get, pump their bags. SafeMoon was one of those that got pumped by a bunch of shitty influencers who, probably have disappeared, took millions of dollars, or are now getting fucked over in different ways.
Okay, another breaking piece. NFT Cutie talking about China unbanning NFTs. We did cover this yesterday. Look, if you've been in the industry long enough, you know that China just flip-flops with these stories. Like, they go from banning to unbanning and then banning again. I'm not going to get myself in a fluff around this, but maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time they do it. We had a question earlier that I want to transition to, which is, you guys think if Sol keeps pumping, Sol NFTs will do well? And we kind of missed out on talking about ordinals here. Maybe we can kind of go back. But Solana and Solana NFTs, right? You see this move with Bored Ape Yacht Club as well, going on to MagicEden. MagicEden has a pretty robust Solana marketplace, if not being the largest Solana marketplace. So, Huda, I'm going to lean on you here when it comes to Solana NFTs and the activity that you guys are starting to see on that side. But what do you make of this kind of run for Solana up above $30? And with the Solana NFTs, Mad Lads, and a couple of these others, what do you make of it?
Yeah, really can only speak to the NFT side of it, which I also don't trade. Again, I own none over there, but I work with guys who that's all they focus on. They don't touch the Ethereum NFTs or any other blockchain. It's Solana or bust. And they're some of the most dedicated guys to a blockchain and to the ecosystem that I've seen, period. For that reason alone, and maybe having a little understanding of the tech behind it, you can't help but be very bullish on their future. As great as a run as they've already had over the past couple of years here, it does feel like Solana is just getting started, that the platform has just gotten better, and that innovation is happening there, maybe at a different clip than it is maybe other chains.
So I agree with all that. I think it's great points. I think that there's still so much opportunity and cool stuff happening. And again, we were talking about the Phantom Wallet and what they're doing with the instant, photo and video minting onto Sol. I just think that it's always going to be more for those types of utilities and dApps than for fine art. So I absolutely personally, yes, I believe there will be an NFT run, like with more liquidity that comes into Solana, with NFTs doing well everywhere and a bull market. There absolutely will be some kind of bullish activity and some projects that fucking kill it, that pop off on Solana, and you'll see everybody saying Solana's the fucking best NFT place now and blah blah blah. No, I think it'll be very similar to what we saw last time, which is what you saw was when Solana was pumping and killing it, you saw some great things launch, you saw a lot of momentum, and then now what do you see? There's only a handful of cool PFPs. Most of the high profile ones fucking bailed, things like Utes and Degods and all that type of stuff. And there's literally only just a few like Mad Lads and Claynosaurs, maybe Bodogos. And those are like just sort of PFP utility plays. The art's okay, but it's very degen. And so if you're really serious about crypto art, collecting really high quality NFTs, I don't think Solana is going to ultimately be the best place for that market. I just don't. But I think for utility, for gaming, for some PFPs, for some other cool shit, I think absolutely it's going to be an awesome spot.
From a macro perspective with Solana, they were instantly tied into the FTX drama just because of the way that FTX was connected to that platform and the way that they were invested in the protocol and all of that. I also think you're dealing with some situations with more VCs, right? The basic FUD around Solana was that it was tied into FTX. There's a ton of different investors and that it went down all the time. It seems like those three FUD pieces have completely kind of evaporated, or it's been enough time where they can start to move on. So you are seeing that, I think, in the token price and a couple different things.
Yeah, and I think Jeff Jag actually summed up my thoughts on Solana NFTs and art on Solana very well, when he said here in the comments, Solana is great for degens to pump the next Bored Ape. And yeah, I think you'll see a lot of that type of energy. And again, I do think there will be some cool NFT projects over there. I just think if you're serious about NFT art, it's not where I would be focusing.
Can I make one more point on Solana?
100%.
Yeah, man.
So just very simply, behind the scenes, I've heard that some really big Web3, I'll just say entities, have made a decision to focus on EVM blockchains. It's a decision. Solana is very, very hard to integrate for whatever it is that you're building. That's going to hurt them ultimately and their ability to grow and scale and whatnot. So just wanted to throw that, little extra context in there.
No, it's good alpha, man, and to be aware of. And yeah, they run on different systems and different code, right? So it's like as EVM becomes adopted by more and more networks, players, dApps, builders, devs, companies, etc., it becomes a standard, and it's hard to fight against that, right? So yeah, Solana will have its own thing. I think we all agree that Solana does have some kind of future, but it's hard to compete with what EVM and Ethereum are building.
Mike is saying Solana was set up for the biggest short squeeze, was just slept on so hard after FTX. I completely agree with that. They tried to go the NFT route as well. FTX did with a NFT marketplace there with FTX. That there was all these tie-ins, I think, to Solana that they've come out of. So I agree with that. Quantum saying there is a layer 2 that runs Solana VM on ETH now.
Virtual machine. Yeah. Solana virtual machine on ETH. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Share more if you got it.
Choin is saying Solana is great for gaming. I don't PFP on Solana, but I game in there every day. I'd be interested to hear what games you're involved in there. I have way more money than I care to talk about into the Star Atlas platform. So that's one thing I'm not going to talk about. But you can see the top pieces on Solana here: Mad Lad or PFPs, Mad Lads, Claynosaurs, Pioneer Legends, The Heist. Some of these with floor prices that are one Solana, like literally like $30. I don't think it would be a bad play. Again, this is not financial advice. Don't speckle on NFTs here.
Don't speckle.
NFTs. But
never speckle.
I think this is a great opportunity if you just want to degen flip and you want to, or even hold for 6 months to a year. Like you buy some of these now, and Solana comes out of this speculative, or how should I say that, this FUD that they've been coming out of, they continue on this rise. I don't think it'd be a bad play at all. But yes, don't speculate.
Yeah, no, there's gonna be some plays to be made there for sure in Solana NFTs. Just be very careful about getting outside of some of the bigger projects, I would say, because I just think just like on ETH, most of them are trash. I think Solana has a lot of not good art, just kind of like whatever. That's my
Choin is getting into a rabbit hole combo, so nobody thinks there'll be a universal standard someday when you won't even know if you're using an EVM platform. I think I want to have this combo tomorrow. I think it could be a whole topic, and let's do that. My general answer is yes and no. Like in the short term, probably the next 2 to 3 years, even we're just dealing with communities that want to be kind of separate, in my opinion. Ethereum has a ton of money. Bitcoin has a ton of money within those ecosystems. And I think that's the play that you want to take.
Yeah, and more interoperability and abstraction is coming. We started to see this like Dream OS operating system, so it'll be interesting to see like how that handles multiple blockchains, et cetera, or is it dependent on a specific blockchain, et cetera. I'm sure there'll be some kind of interoperability. So yeah, I agree with that. But also, if something is built on a native token, for that to be fully interoperable without and fully abstracted away, like it's going to take a lot of work for that to happen. It's not going to be easy
on both the technical and kind of the entrenched culture within all of these like there's people on these ecosystems as well. It's not as easy as
They're
like
brands. There's an interesting thing. I think
Yeah.
you talked about somebody calling Bitcoin a brand recently, and that's true. Just like an NFT project, a lot of these tokens and standards and protocols are their own brands, and yeah, it's an interesting aspect. The culture.
If you have any lightning takes on the question Choin asked with basically the all encompassing blockchain maybe that will exist, or at least the connection between those, and then we'll touch ordinals.
I mean, I feel like that's ultimately what Base is looking to do. I mean, and I might have that wrong as far as which product of Coinbase, but I know Coinbase wanted to be a bridge between everything. So I see a little potential there. And yes, I do think we mostly won't even know what blockchain certain things are on. We'll be in just, looking at a different kind of front end. But I guess that's not appreciating how hard it is to get Solana plugged into that environment. And that's still the challenge.
Yep.
Love that take, man. All right. Stairs up. Strong stairs up, maybe elevator up here for Solana over the last 30 days. You can see it's up 80% within the last 2 weeks, 70.
Yeah. When are we gonna do a follow up, a regroup, a check in on Jeffrey the Giraffe? You know what I'm saying? At some point, we got to check in on that yacht party he promised us. See what's going on.
I'm never gonna live that one down. All right. Real quick, I'm kind of reverting back to the conversation around Elon Musk and Joe Rogan talking about on-chain NFTs. Well, guess what? We have ordinals, right? Like this was the narrative they were running on, and I think a lot of projects are going to lean into this. We saw Cyber Brokers and a couple others kind of say, "Hey, we're fully on chain," and they're going to take advantage of this. Megapont, I mentioned, is revealing today, so we have Mark on tomorrow to talk about that project.
Let's go.
Is Ordinals going to get a bid off of this hype around on-chain NFTs? And it's definitely in the volume. You can see here a post by Mo. All of the floor prices around the biggest projects, Frogs, Punks, Whales, and Bitmap have gone up 50% just from that interview.
Dude, who else can do this other than Elon? Like, remember when he posted him a ladies meme and that shit shot up like 500% or some shit? There's very few people in the world that have this kind of impact on the Web3 space. Just mentioning, something even sort of nuanced, like, oh yeah, on-chain art's better than off-chain. And everybody's like, ordinals, pamp that shit.
Any takes, Huda, that you have? I'll consistently kind of get the feel on what you're involved in as the weeks go on. But being at Crypto Slam, you guys are multi-chain. You were covering ordinals before anybody else, in my opinion. Like all of these other on-chain analytics and things. Did we lose Huda by the way?
Oh, is he frozen? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think he's frozen.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if Huda, let's get your take in here. Hopefully we get him back. I'm going to try to remove the guest real quick. Let's see if we can get him back here. GIF, while I'm messaging him, try to take over real quick.
I got you. First of all, shout out the amazing friends hanging out with us over in the comments. We see you. Jeff Jag, NFT Cutie, Quantum Variant saying, let's get Elon and Machi on a podcast, please. That would be fascinating. Matt T, snapping some fingers, I think. I guess liking the combo. Shout out to you. Squashman, Mike Erlinson. Great to have you here, y'all. I did want to briefly share a follow-up from GM Web3 here, because as we mentioned, we had an amazing show with none other than Roger Dickerman this morning. Roger Dickerman being the man behind 24 Hours of Art. Let me actually pull him up. There you go. This man right here. We tried out a new segment called Top 5 Artists This Week with him, and he absolutely brought the heat. He did not disappoint at all. Came in prepared, and here are Roger Dickerman's top 5 artists to watch this week. And we got a full breakdown, but number 1, Yatrada. Number 2, Xcopy. Number 3, Derek. Number 4, Han. Number
Yep.
5, Jake Freed. And, you know, we posted this. I'll share this in the comments if you want to give it some love. Check it out. But yeah, you can see we did share some of their work here, but absolutely cool. And one really quick one. I mean, we could stare at the Derek piece there, the Satori, but one really quick one that I just wanted to pull up a really quick cue, because this Yatrada auction is going live right now. And I just want to pull up one thing from them. Here it is. Look at this. Look at this, bro. This is wild.
What is that?
That's art, my guy.
No, I know, but what are they simulating there? Is that like a
so okay,
primordial
this
dragon?
project, this is like the story of Adam and Eve, but I guess an African version. So
Yeah.
Adam and Enhewan is what they call it. The Horn of Africa shares the world's most famous origin story, the genesis of humanity. So that's what this collection is dropping right now. And this was the #1 artist to watch. And of course, that was all broken down on GM Web 3 if you want to check out that recording. But beautiful work.
That's interesting because watching these pieces, and they have multiple different shots.
They're formed a paradise.
Pieces here. I thought that this was more kind of like rooted in maybe like reality. Like there was rhinos. You can see there's tortoises there, but that other piece was like some type of like fictional character there. That's really interesting. They're bringing in that old history.
Yeah, it's awesome though. But yeah, shout out Roger Dickerman, who absolutely killed it and brought in some amazing artists. And looking forward to hopefully doing another one of those top 5 artists this week with him over there.
All right, we have an X copy on that list as well. So we wanted to get a recap here. I'll Go Bro by X copy, which we mentioned, like he was essentially kind of doing some cryptic tweets on, was dropped to 42 allow list members at 2 ETH. Floors up to 9.7 ETH, and trades have been at 6 and 8. That's from NFT stats. I want to recap here, Give. What is the allow list that he's mentioning here for X copy with Algo Bro? Does X copy have his own allow list?
So this was part of the super rare pass. So that's one way that people are getting into this. But I believe, yeah, he's probably also providing some out to other, like, I think that he's expanding on this contract. So my understanding, and again, we're just learning about it. We haven't looked fully into it. So feel free to drop more notes in the comments. But my understanding is he launched a new contract, and I think it's called Fresh Hell, I think is the new contract. So that's like the collection. And then within that, he's doing different editions. And so Algo Bro, I think, is the first edition that is just dropped. That's 42, if I'm getting this right. 42, an edition of 42. And so, yes, some of those went to the rare pass holders or some kind of raffle, I believe. Some of them might be going to some of his other collectors or some other way to get in. But I think the plan is to keep expanding on this Fresh Hell contract with different limited edition drops.
I don't know if it's part of the super rare piece, because this release was supposed to be coming on November 3rd, and the Algo Bro that he's talking about is already trading on secondary.
Oh, so, okay. Yeah, again, we might be missing some of the nuances here. So maybe this is part, the super rare one will be part of the Fresh Hell contract, but it's a next edition. I don't know. But yeah, that's my understanding. New contracts, new editions. Okay. We're trying to figure out how people are getting into it. But we did hear that those are already trading at like a 10/8 floor. just crazy. Fucking wild, man.
It is wild. All right, we've been talking generally about the feel in the market and the fact that NFT price floors are up, Solana price is up. And so I want to bring some context in here, man, because obviously looking at on-chain statistics, I even got a chance to like glance at our Telegram group over there, and Mike Finch was pointing out the same thing. But this is NFT stats with some stats. And he's saying unique daily NFT buyers remain low and even trending lower despite the recent strength in NFT prices. And then I also have another one here related to the large cap prices. NFTs remain strong through the rally in crypto. This chart looks at our large cap in USD terms, pushing back towards levels a few months ago. He also posted another one that had to do with in terms of ETH, and that one was up against ETH as well. So even against the uptrend in the Ethereum price, we're seeing NFT price floors do well. But harkening back to that original post, no new buyers.
Yeah, this is this is where the reality comes into the, whatever optimism that people are feeling on the number go up, because until you start to get actually new people and new liquidity coming into the space, all of this is sort of ephemeral. It's just the same people trading the same things back and forth, washing the same liquidity in different ways. So yeah, this is where definitely be careful right now, because the good thing is that it shows some level of stability. It hasn't changed much negatively. It kind of like seems like it hit a bottom a month or two ago or whatever, and it's staying kind of consistent. And you are seeing more renewed hope, maybe hopium to an extent, but it is concerning that there's still not more people coming into the space right now, for sure.
A lot of things to get back to here. Again, Huda's back, by the way. One, that was only talking about new Ethereum buyers, right? There's a more vibrant ecosystem than existed probably in 2021. I'm throwing it out there. Just
China, dude, Alibaba, bro. That could be it. That might be what's happening.
Yeah, so there's a lot of other things happening that isn't tied up in this ETH unique buyers here for NFTs. Huda, we were just mentioning that, it does feel like we're, at least from a sentiment level, coming out of a lot of the bear market for NFTs. We're mentioning as well that prices have gone up and everyone's seen it. It's been the talk of the town, but Stats' tweet here is, I think, illuminating in the way that, there's no new buyers. There doesn't seem to be any new buyers. What are your thoughts here?
He's exactly right. I look at that every day. I look at unique buyers. I look at unique sellers. I look at total transactions. And I don't even mean to pump my product here, but CryptoSlam has it every day, by the week, by the month. And you can see just steadily just decreasing in all of those stats. So he's right on. At the same time, while that's happening, the average sales price of NFTs are actually going up. And that shows me, I think, that you have real collectors wanting to get in, feeling that prices are at just maybe too steep of a discount to pass up on anymore. And they got to have these because they're sensing what's coming. The writing's on the wall that maybe we hit the bottom. Even if it's a few months out till the next run, it does feel like we're at the bottom here.
Absolutely agree with that take. I think it's a lot of the people already here that feel like things hit a bottom and they want to get in now or in the next couple months before, the ETF and more people do come in.
And this is just a total guess too. Maybe the buyers are decreasing because the NFTs really moving right now are those grails. They're already expensive.
Yeah.
Most people are still out of liquidity. So there's less buyers, but they're the buyers who have money and they can move markets with that money.
Yeah, it really does feel like there's going to be a lot of things that tie into maybe this being the start of the next bull run, right? Because you're saying not a lot of people have liquidity. What do people need to have liquidity? Well, they need wins. We've seen a couple different wins on some different fronts with NFTs. They also need potential airdrops. We saw that with Uniswap in DeFi summer and the people getting like 6, 7, 8 grand that they kind of turned into some other things. So there's a lot of protocols right now that are saying, hey, use our product and we might airdrop you something. Blur is obviously a big one, but that has some more farmers. Base is another one. Friend Tech. I mean, all of these things could be extra liquidity events here for NFTs. I will mention as well, Shrapnel episode that we had last week, I believe Thursday, we had the Shrapnel team talking about their launch and all these things. Well, the CEO, CMO, Tony Valcarcel,
dude, smash the like for this man.
I'm trying up here. Listen, my brain is just like either supposed to be working better when you're fasting, but I don't know. I feel kind of shitty.
You did not speckle that one, bro.
I did not. Anyways, to get into the actual point, Tony was saying that he had worked at Amazon, and we point blank asked him what the fuck happened to the Amazon marketplace that was supposed to be for NFTs. He's like, no, that's coming. Like, I've heard that's coming. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying it, but that's coming. So
yeah,
that's a whole other thing that could pop in here and pop us off.
That was really cool. And we didn't actually follow up on that as much as we should. We should have been tweeting out all about that, because I do feel like that's like maybe one of the only places that we've gotten any sort of insider info on what's going on with the Amazon digital marketplace from a guy who definitely knows what's going on with those people. He legit came on the show and just said like, oh, I'm talking to them and it's definitely coming very soon. Like, it's in the works. They've been working hard on all kinds of cool shit. It's coming very soon. And yeah, there's really no other info about what they're doing.
All right, I love it. Prodigy is in the house. Our vibe, our tribe. Shout out to Prodigy for running the polls yesterday. All those polls that you see thrown up there are all Prodigy's work. So I appreciate that. I'll get better at actually watching those. It's tough from Restream because they don't offer that feature. Justin Casey saying also, yo, I'm here. Can you restart? Unfortunately,
Yes.
we can't.
On
We're
the top.
I'm pretty sure Huda already restarted a couple times for us.
Easy saying, does feel like the end of the bear. So there's those feelings going on around the industry. What else do I have here on the day?
Well,
I did
real
have a
quick, we should apologize to Tony for getting him fired too. That
true.
was pretty fucked up.
Sorry, Tony. I didn't actually want to blow up his spot. That's why I didn't tweet it. But Coinbase announces that U.S. traders can now trade regulated leverage crypto futures. So leverage futures here launching on Coinbase today. I actually went into the Coinbase app and the Coinbase Pro app to see if this was live, and it certainly is. So that's some more rocket fuel to add onto this piece. There's some AIPs going around that are ending today that I could mention. I also have this piece that I want to add in. But guys, definitely feel free as we round out the episode here to drop any links. I ordered a Sappy Seals tee.
This is I hope you're ready
news.
for the biggest news of the day. We really saved the best for last year. So buckle up.
All this FUD about Sappy Seals tees, I'm going to be wearing this on stream and y'all are going to be eating your heart out. $60 for the shopsappyseals.com release here. What do we think? This is closed, by the way. Eat your heart out.
It looks like the Pillsbury dough seal. I don't know. It's cute.
Oh wow, they got a whole trailer for this.
Trailer maxis.
It's like a horror movie.
Wow. Oh, good call.
It's Casper the seal.
Oh yeah.
You didn't even realize what it was, Q, and you bought it?
I thought it looked clean. Like outside of the whole, I didn't know it was going for like the horror look. I thought it was just going for like the faded tea look, So
Prodigy, start up a poll. Would you spend $60 on this T-shirt? And then if you did, would you actually wear it outside the house?
Really?
It's a collector's item, guys.
Yeah.
Gotta look at it that way.
Get that poll going quick.
Here's my thing. I ordered it. Look, GiftEd gave me a DB's shirt one time, and it was in a very, very tight medium. And honestly, I can't wear it on stream. And this says oversized fit with drop shoulders. And I usually wear a large, but oversized fit, drop shoulders, I was like medium. So hopefully it comes in at the right size.
I'm just trying to support your fitness goals and get you into that gym, Q.
All right, fair. Okay. What the heck is going on here? All right, AIP 350 and 3. I want to make sure I get it right. The Bored Ape Gazette, AIP 335 and 350 are live right now. They're closing tonight. We had the Bored Ape Gazette on the GM Web3 morning show earlier this week. This proposal is going to pass. So I want to keep you guys updated. So Bored Ape Gazette, I think, asked for about $125,000 in ApeCoin to power their platform for another year. That, I believe, is going to pass. It's up 12 million, 99% of the ecosystem voting for this. And then hey,
congrats to them. Really seems like they got the old GM Web3 bump there working for them.
True. So, yeah, I think
love to see it.
We're worth at least 5 to 6 million votes based on when I checked in on that before the episode. AIP 350 is more, I think, in the news here because this is about the special counsel. So the special counsel 50% slash that they've been getting $20,000 a month individually. Each member, 5 members, $20,000 for a part-time gig, might I add. That proposal
with limited oversight or any sort of accountability. Yeah,
crazy.
This is why I love Machi coming in and shaking things up, because it was just ridiculous. I'm glad that this then got pushed through because the special counsel and the DAO was feeling the heat from the community. A majority of folks actually voted for the cut. It didn't pass. But then we had AIP 350 come through, which was on the docket. You can make the argument that's why the initial one didn't pass, because people knew this was coming next week. But yeah, it's getting slashed to about, what is that? Probably like 11,000 a month, folks. Maybe 10,000 a month. It looks like.
I feel for them, man. That's rough.
Yeah, so you see 125K a year per special counsel. This is not going to affect until the new election, by the way.
Really taking a haircut there, man.
We're looking to get more involved in the ApeCoin ecosystem. You'll see more things coming out from the network on that from me and Gifted here. Guys, what other stories are we covering today? I've got big winners and losers to get to, but I wanted to open it up for you guys.
I defer to Huda. He's the new guy, so we got to haze him and put him on the spot more.
Yeah. Did you guys touch on the new X copy mint?
Briefly, yeah, that's right when you left. Yeah.
Yeah, there's small stuff like that, right? It looks like there's another Forgotten Runes gameplay event coming in 1 or 2 weeks. Yeah, next week actually. So that just was announced about an hour ago. First look or first maybe hands-on with their MMO. That thing looks cool, by the way. Just cool looking game. It's mostly it that I've seen.
I got one that just popped up. That's some local news worth sharing.
Hold on, man. Hold on.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hold on. Because there is a full ass gameplay trailer. Maybe not a gameplay trailer, but a full trailer here from the Forgotten Universe that did, like who was saying, launch about an hour ago. So let's watch this bad boy.
This magical land has been nearly lost to memory. Only the Watchers keep the stories alive as their world decays, falling into the hands of the quantum shadow. A sliver of hope has been found. It is time to return to the Runiverse. Explore the Runiverse and uncover the stories and magic that was once thought forgotten. Compete in skill-based combat to level up and earn rewards with your friends.
This game's
mint
beautiful.
the rewards you earn to claim full ownership on the blockchain.
It's beautiful. I just have to say, man, we were talking about this on the rehash yesterday. I was saying, just looking at the characters and like the gameplay, the way that it's designed and how it looks makes me want to play this because it's, yeah, really good looking game here.
That team's wild too. I've just gotten to understand them, and yeah, they're awesome, smart guys over there.
Huda, what's the best way? I'm gonna haze you continuously, like Gifted saying, but what is the best way for somebody to get access to this ecosystem right now? Do you know if it's NFT based? Is there obviously there are NFTs? I've seen this team be building for the last couple of years, but is there like a token involved in this as well? Like, what's your read?
Yeah, I'm so new to it. I truthfully don't know. All I know is their initial NFT collection from 2.5 years ago or whatever. So really, no idea. I think that's it though. I think it's just the NFTs.
Okay, I've got the poster here that I could potentially blow up.
Forgotten Runes is the NFTs, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, check those out, Gift. See if we can pull this up. So mint launch here, November 8th through the 15th. Mint your Watchers rings, improve your chance to earn quantum gifts and Runiverse land. Wow, they're hitting on all of my safe words here. Enter the Runiverse, play and create, earn rewards, land plots available, quantum gifts. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to put them in the parallel, like I'm not going to put them in that pantheon yet. But this team has been building for a while, like two and a half years, like Huda was saying. So it's really good to see those teams win because if they survived this bear market and are still building, they got something.
Yeah.
They got something.
How interesting to see them have like the confidence to do a mint now too. That's
True.
a great sign.
yeah, so this is the, I think, original collection, Wizards Cult, Forgotten Runes Wizard Cult. So we'll just look at this real quick. For sitting above 0.3, holding pretty strong for 10K or 9,300 or so. And yeah, very cool pixel art characters. But then they also at least have, looks like, this other Warriors Guild collection, which is 16,000. So this looks like the expansion, holding, this is the more affordable one. And if this also gets you playability or characters, 0.04. So, some pretty cool characters here too. So I don't know if they have more collections than these, but these are the two that popped up when I was searching for Forgotten Runes.
Is the team okay? So we might not know this, but I need to get the team on here because I would love to get the full breakdown from them, but I'm not sure if they're based in the US or in the West or what. So we'll get that information because I'd love for the team to break this down. It'd be amazing. Great time.
Yeah, and you can see they are seeing some activity, So that's pretty awesome. It's for, again, OG projects that maybe don't get talked about that much that are building really cool shit. Quite a bit of activity.
All right.
Amount, at least.
The poll is up right now. First of all, who is the best for Web3? 100% of you voted for Musk over Zuck. The other poll that is live now, I believe, would you pay $60 for the Sappy Seal t-shirt? 100% of you saying no.
Oof. F's in the chat, bro. I feel bad. It's not that bad. It's pretty cool. Right? Like, come on. But my man is proud. He's proud. He just got a new shirt.
Wait, it won or lost? People would buy it?
100% of folks would not buy it.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, man.
It is what it is. All right, big winners for the day. Gip, I wanted to mention this. FF 6000 is up 128% here. On-Chain Monkeys up 26%. Chimpers up 20%. Rare Pass and Velocity Series both up about 10%. Big losers, Sproto Gremlins down 12%. Mochaverse down 12%. Opepin down 10%. Shrapnel and Creeps also down 10%. So that's the biggest losers. But yeah, GIF, FF 6000 up 130%.
Which one is FF6000? Have we talked about that before?
I thought you bought an FF6000. It was the one that's like an orange icon for X.
Oh, fuck no. So, okay. Before like a lot more of the drama came out around them, I briefly was like, fuck it. Like maybe. The thing was, when they launched that project, this is why I ended up FOMO. And then, by the way, I ended up losing money on it anyway because I floored it as soon as I was like, fuck these guys. The reason why I bought into it after it had already launched and pumped was because it was at the beginning of what I thought was an interesting new meta, which was the Twitter organizations. Because if you remember when they first launched this thing where you could basically put a badge, an organizational badge next to your profile and handle on X, like that was a cool new thing that people were experimenting with. And this project like somehow like knew it was coming or was just able to spin up an interesting utility token or like a club around this idea where you just get this NFT and then it allows you to be part of this organization, this Twitter organization that's registered and get a cool bright orange badge. And it was just a fun, interesting new thing. It was kind of a fad as far as like NFTs go, but then the people behind it turn out to be like real shitheads and whatever. And I don't even remember exactly why. I just remember being like ashamed to have even partially supported that in any way. So
wasn't Ben associated with that?
Yeah, I think so. It was around a lot of that shit when a lot of the weird stuff started happening, and they were like they were also like pumping a bunch of shady meme coins too. There was just a bunch of weird shit happening around that time, and so I ended up just flooring it and taking another L.
That was a bad time. Like bad vibes over those months. Glad we're past it.
Yeah, we're in the positive vibe territory. I'm going to try my best. I thought it was going to be positive vibes when I brought it up. So
what's unfortunate, like I'm not sure why is it pumping? You know what I mean? Like why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. All right, I got this other piece here. The
is it wash trading?
I'll look it up while you break down the deadities because GIF, you got a new soulbound NFT here. We're about 5 minutes out from ending the episode, folks. By the way, leave any comments you have here at the end.
Yeah, I actually got 2 of these because I burned my 2 oddities to get my mythics. So I can share this tab right here. So those are some. Oh yeah, you can see what the combos look like. Here is one of my 2 deadities, and basically it was just a really kind of fun thing that they decided to do for Halloween and to what's the word when you're commemorate the oddities that were burned. It is a deflationary, interesting mechanic for the oddities collection, which was an expansion on the original Moonbirds collection. And the way that it worked was if you had an oddity, you could elect to sacrifice it and burn it to get a mythic. There was a couple different ways to get mythics. That was one of them. And that's how I got in. And so for those that sacrificed and burned their oddities, they just airdropped these as sort of a surprise, a fun Halloween thing. So I now have, I guess, a soul, and it is soulbound. That's another interesting mechanic. It's kind of like the Oni frames or something like that. Yeah. Right? I don't know if it's soulbound as much as it's tied to the mythic, that was created. And so you can't really trade it or anything like that. You might be able to recall it. I don't know about all that, but kind of like how the Oni frames were attached to the Onis. It wasn't an inflationary or dilutive collection that you could go buy and sell. It was just an interesting new utility or PFP piece of art that came with the original collection.
All right, I love that, man. Trader just dropped a new trailer here that we'll go out on here in a moment. Look, Choin is saying Lindsay Lohan vibes in the chat queue. That, first of all, that's an old school call out. That's like early days, last bull run call out. I still have that Lindsay Lohan NFT, and the fact that none of y'all saved me on this poll, and that y'all doubled down. We got more people voting no after this whole situation. So 100. We're gonna go ahead and close that poll here. Thanks for nothing. Appreciate it. Strawberry, nice to see you.
Awesome to see my man Strawberry over there dropping the berries in the chat.
Yeah.
GM.
All right, we will head out of here, folks. Again, new start to the month here, November 1st, man. It's good to be with y'all. It does have some positive vibes here to start. I wish we could be at ApeFest Hong Kong. I'm feeling the FOMO, but I'm excited to see all the pictures and stuff that are coming out of there.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Let's definitely spend some time sort of collecting and digging into those tomorrow, because we are starting to see some of the photos and all the cool stuff happening over there coming. So I'm sure by tomorrow we'll have a bunch more cool things to check in. And I just want to say, okay, me at least, Q, I think that your shirt's actually pretty cool. So like, I just want to be the one to have your back.
You started this and now you're waffling.
I actually think it's a pretty cool shirt, my man. I just want you to know that.
Dude, I'm a sucker for all NFT merch, so I liked it right off the bat. Got to be honest.
Yeah, the black shirt, the black hoodie. We're a fan.
You need more black merch. You can never have enough black merch.
Apparently not. All right, guys, we are gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us on both the GM Web3 show, if you did catch it with Roger Dickerman, as well as NFT Live. We will be here tomorrow with Mark from Megapont and a couple different projects over there on Ordinals. I think it's a really well-timed drop. 2, a well-timed NFT Live here that we're going to be able to talk Ordinals after all this Musk Rogan situation. So yeah, fantastic time sitting here with y'all. We'll go around the circle here, the try box, if you will. Huda, say your last goodbyes and we will hop out of here.
Goodbye, guys. Hope we're in for another treat of a month. I kind of think we're getting a trick, though.
Oh, you're gonna have to follow that up. He added the trick or treat. Wow.
Had to leave us with that ambiguous knife turn, the twist at the end. But yeah, appreciate you being here, Huda. And remember, Allow List for Coffins is only open a few more days. You get 2 free mints. Go share this with your friends. Make sure to get on it. I'll drop that link in the chat. Other than that, our vibe, our tribe, appreciate y'all. Shout out again, Roger Dickerman, who absolutely killed it. And I really, really hope and look forward that we're going to get to do more of those with him.
All right, OVOT.